Maduro was isolated about 24-36 hours back. That is when he made an announcement. He offered to USA, and he was open to talk. Also, he was open to, offer the oil fields. This happened, I think, a day back, yesterday, most probably, if I'm not wrong, because the CIA modules have managed to get very close to him. The intelligence agencies, they went to Maduro and told him that it is now or never, don't delay. You may become a target very soon. Therefore, make a contact with Donald Trump or speak to the American embassy. That is how he contacted. He offered himself. And next was coming to the today morning attack. Morning means daytime or morning at 6:15 or 6:35. Their basic job was when the CIA modules were closing in to isolate and capture him. That is the time the command, control, communication, intelligence, and surveillance platforms, they were to be degraded. That is when the kinetic standoff attacks have taken place. There were no boots on grounds, either the aerial platforms with the drones or the attack helicopters or the missiles, sea-based missiles. They have been used to knock off the radars and the surveillance mechanism. And a couple of airfields also have been hit. One of the naval ports has been hit where the three terminals, they have got damaged. That is the major port from where the export and import of Venezuela takes place. They have large number of ports all along 2,800 kilometers of coastline, but the one which was hit today morning is a major port through which the major share of their export and import takes place. That is one. And second thing is that they were targeting the supply chain pipeline as also the ecosystem which provides crude oil from Venezuela oil field to Havana refinery, and from Havana refinery it has been going on for past 30 years. It goes to China at an extremely discounted price, much against the resistance and opposition from OPEC countries. And it has been going on for past 30, nearly 40 years now. So this is another target which CIA was targeting. Hopefully, they would have actually neutralized the same. And therefore, coming to the total force application, they had one aircraft carrier, Gerald S. Ford. They had on the aircraft carrier, there are about 50 fighter jets. They had almost about 20 odd helicopters with one squadron of attack helicopters. They had guns, they had missiles, plus they had a frigate, they had a destroyer, and they also had the logistic element supporting them. The complete Caribbean, covering entire distance of 2,800 kilometers with an intercept distance of 1.5 to 3 kilometers, they were dispersed in a manner so as to avoid any kind of overlapping or collateral damage if one target is hit at one time. And they also had another special forces ready to go across the water in case of any eventuality to dominate. There is a hill feature which is about 30 to 50 kilometers away from the coastline, running parallel to the coastline all along the border or the coastline of Venezuela. This is almost about 2,500 kilometers. Their dominating feature, any by military science, if you go capture that dominating feature, nothing can actually stop any invading force going into Venezuela and capturing the capital Caracas. So this is how the force array had taken place. To my assessment and
General
understanding,
Sudhakarji, first they took control of the waters, and then the operation shifted towards the land, and then finally resulted in the extraction of Maduro. But Mr. Surinder Singh, what are the geopolitical ramifications? The oil supply, do you think it will be disrupted, or what's happening as far as the economics is concerned?
Mr. Surinder wants to say something. He wants to add something. Why don't you allow him?
Sure, sure.
No, no, okay. Now, American, financial supremacy is still there, but American hegemony is up for some serious revision. And the very mercantilist, mercurial American president for now has thrown every possible diplomatic niceties and alliances out the window. America has become a theater of the absurd, and why do I say that? Ravinderji very rightly said about the cocaine. Why do I say it's become a theater of the absurd? Donald J. Trump, on the 1st of December, pardons the former Honduran president, Juan Orlando Hernandez. There was 500 kilos of cocaine involved in that. Number two, he wants a Nobel Peace Prize and he started another regime change. And if they put boots on the ground, which they might have to, it will not be that easy. I mean, they lost $32 billion in Afghanistan and came to beat Taliban and give it back to Taliban. So I don't think there is much of method to the madness because Donald Trump at home is also has his back against the wall. You know, the Epstein files, 35,000, 33,000 emails, 95,000 photographs, over 1 million documents. You know, he's getting pressure from that. Health is a big issue. The tariffs have hit back. Inflation is big. Then in all probability, he's going to lose the midterm. And he's keeping the seat warm for J.D. Warm and the way the Marjorie Taylor Greens are going to get the best of him. So what I feel, Deepak, is that there isn't much intelligence gone into this because America also buys about 20% of the oil from Venezuela and, comes into it. But I think this is the American lobbies who funded Donald Trump are pushing India for our agri or for, the rear of their back is against the wall. So I'm not too sure if there is much of method to the madness. It's just that this gentleman in the morning gets up and, he wants attention.
That's right. His back was against the wall. There's a lot of attention towards the US, mostly negative, and he wanted to probably divert all the negative attention on Venezuela. And that's exactly what probably Donald Trump, woke up early in the morning on Saturday and, probably thought, and he did it. But many thanks, Rabinder Sachdev and Major General Sudhakarji, along with Surinder Singh Laliji, for your valuable insights. Now we have global reactions also pouring in. Let's listen into the UK Prime Minister.
Well, I want to establish the facts first. I want to speak to President Trump. I want to speak to allies. As I say, I can be absolutely clear that we were not involved in that. And as you know, I always say and believe we should all uphold international law. But I think at this stage, fast-moving situation, let's establish the facts and take it from there. Yeah, there's about 500 there in Venezuela, and we're working with the embassy to make sure that they are well looked after, safeguarded, and get appropriate advice. So we're working at pace with the embassy on that. It is a small number, but it's an important number. It is about 500, and so that's what we're doing there.